locker,
locker, locker,
locker,
locker.
Atmosphere. And if I'm there with a gay guy, it's just not going to be the same. I mean, for me, it's a locker room. For him, it's a showroom. She doesn't get it.
Fired up. What?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
He had a boombox and a piece of cardboard in his locker, and what was your dance name?
Ozone. Yeah.
I drove him to a Star Search audition.
Which is totally political, by the way.
What's wrong?
Locker room.
I can see it from here. Wow, you can take an aerial photograph of that thing. I'm sure there's going to be orange slices in the locker room and a couple of tissues. Meanwhile, Nat scores, and that is a...
Look, you protect that locker with a secret lock. Now, the weed that you break into on a daily?
On the same thing.
That's not the point.
Oh, well, then what is?
We were both greedy and stupid. And look where it got us. Sitting here in some storage locker. You with the stench of pussy on your lips and me with a drawer-dented dick.
Where are we? Boys' locker room. It smells like feet. That's not feet. Okay, come here. What's with all the yogurt? Shh. Durkins has been breaking into my locker, but I've got a little revenge plan. Sorry, I just remembered I don't really care.
2 guys in overcoats at your 7 o'clock. 30 yards back. Head towards the lockers. Locker 410.
Okay, fellas, back off. Nikita might have tipped him off. He's being followed.
Well, your hand might be broken. Do you want me to look at it?
No, it's all right. You can wait outside. It's the men's locker room, Bones.
Necessitates controlling the game. She's created her own morality. She's not going to relinquish control.
Hey, they brought in everything from her storage locker.
Back to work, everybody.
Optical,
optical, optical,
optical,
optical.
Some girls over here and play laser obstacles strip chess.
Please continue.
Vestibulocochlear, optical nerves, if optical nerves have been critically damaged. He'll be blind in one eye.
Complaint. Sore eyes. Diagnosis. Optical inflammation due to handling mistletoe.
No, it's just an optical illusion.
Slanty, huh?
Well, of course it's the bagpipes. It's the bagpipes and it's the not flushing and this optical migraine you call a business suit. It's about...
Well, what do you think it was? Could be an optical illusion, a mirroring effect caused by wind shear and light.
Brilliant. The optical nerve must act like a coaxial cable.
Whiplash, Thumper, get your optical gear ready.
Save. Anyhow, Black Unicorn is a stealthy next-gen electro-optical and audio reconnaissance orbiter.
Use an optical transceiver, but an electrical detonator. I'm pretty sure it was a plastic bomb.
Coerce.
Coerce, coerce,
coerce,
cause.
Are victims. They're coerced, seduced. Some of them are 14, 15 years old.
Threatened the witness.
Your Honor, she threatened Dexter Roja with information she knew to be false in order to coerce him into testifying.
Your Honor, this defense is based on smears.
She's being coerced. She's being coerced. She's being coerced. If she is, I'd rather have a needle prick on my conscience than the death of her family members.
You know, I think there's something more going on in that noggin of yours.
I only said that to coerce you.
You lied?
Your health supersedes my other directives.
None of the parties were coerced into signing this agreement. And nowhere have I seen an expiration date.
Time, I refused to allow her access nonetheless. As only Mr. Togan is authorized, but as you will see, I was coerced. First girl took my keys. With both sets, she could open the security.
I've no wish to coerce your attentions.
You're not boring at all, are you?
I make every effort not to be.
John,
Well, okay.
which I held to his head. So I violated my probation, committed a felony, and coerced a confession.
His intent. But sources say Redmond was coerced by the vigilante, who to this day...
This guy gets more airtime than the Kardashians, right?
Whose body did we pull out of the rubble in Dubai?
Probably a double. Someone who's coerced into playing Amanda.
Yeah, one that can control people's minds, coerce them into becoming thieves.
Finch. I don't understand his strategy. HR are his allies.
In war, you need to be able to coerce your allies every bit as much as your enemies.
Merit.
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 In all scientific merit, scientific merit, scientific merit, it is well established. Superman cleans his uniform by flying in.
Still arguing over which CSI is the best? We agree they all have their merits. Merits. This is about Bernadette.
But he was very excited, and he said that he was finally going to be able to publish something of real scientific merit. Scientific merit. Scientific merit.
So he knew that his previous books were sensational.
Just 4 new documentaries.
You got in on your own merit. The only gift I gave you was to lick a stamp. And as for me...
Including me. True. Penelope, you may be a National Merit Scholar. Benelli Yuki is a Merit Scholar, a Peabody Scholar, and an Intel Science Talent Search finalist. Isabel...
Maybe in time I'll get in trouble for not inflating grades like everyone else, Miss Waldorf. But until then, I'll give them based on merit.
Private Metz was AWOL for 5 months. You're sure her allegation has merit?
I'm telling you, she's not lying.
Okay, well, there's a lot of merit to both theories.
No, there isn't. Only loop quantum gravity calculates the entropy of black holes.
I'm your boss.
It's very important to realize that Dr. Soroyan has done nothing to merit your anger.
Thank you. I'm not smarter than he is.
Really?
He saw the merit in your get-rich scheme before I did.
Ah, the asteroid mining.
Yes.
Yes.
I invested.
You didn't make it in here on your own.
You were such an evil cow.
Whatever.
At least I got in here on my own merit.
What happened to the circle of trust?
I was the street kid.
You all right?
Yeah.
What are you doing out here all by yourself, huh?
Boy Scout. Trying to get a merit badge.
Microbe.
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 We are virologists, tracking obscure microbes and microbes and microbes in hard-to-get-to places. Pretty boring stuff, actually.
So Daniel's my witness. We find a single microbe up there and I win.
If you find a still living microbe, you win. Well, I have a new model that blocks out microbes down to the molecular level.
How do you do that?
Micron filters, mainly.
I did an analysis of his novels. There's no recurring sets of numbers, only recurring images of germs and fear of microbes.
Okay, then what is with the number 12?
An orchid for his mother. He was full of anxiety.
Probably about microbes.
I'm afraid of germs.
Every time you blink your eye, you wash away thousands of unwanted microbes. Breathe in too much unwanted pollen, and you sneeze.
Oh, don't do that. Molokai rainforest got pathogenic microbes in the water that'll put a man down in an hour.
Debris.
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 Oh no! We're trapped! Buddha! Move the debris! Move the debris! Move the debris!
Where do we find it?
One of the transporters must have crashed on the way over to the island. There was debris everywhere. Thomas and Potts just fished him right out of the water with a grappling hook, and I told him it was a bad idea.
Of having been severely damaged, we have found no debris. No debris. No debris. No sign of a blast pattern.
Satellite has incurred a missile strike. The impact has created a cloud of debris orbiting at 20,000 miles per hour. Current debris orbit does not overlap with your trajectory.
He got the squeak out of the kitchen door, then cleared the debris out of the gutters.
You saved our lives. We've got a lot of debris to clear now. We might need a bit more time.
Lap structure, and the crawler drills will be boring through the debris.
Yep. Recent parts we salvaged from the station's debris field.
Obviously.
I use it to check my teeth for debris.
Actually cool.
This cask is filled with debris, decomposed tissue, and organs.
Damn it, there's so much debris in the system that Dreidis is useless.
Discrepancy.
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 Discrepancy. Discrepancy.
It's quite a discrepancy. Discrepancy, don't you think?
David, please. This is not the place.
I trust you.
The reason I'm here is because there's a discrepancy between what you know and what you have said to the vice president.
Mr. Sherman.
Yeah, you're 7. So if you rich that, it just explains the discrepancy. Discrepancy.
Really?
Show me the discrepancy in the books.
Show me.
Perhaps there's a matching discrepancy. So, here.
Anyway, this isn't the first discrepancy with your father's books.
Something to throw him off guard. A discrepancy in a previous statement, that's enough to give us the upper hand.
I'll get on that.
Maybe it's not with you that we have a discrepancy. Maybe it's with your husband.
1.6 million.
Well, that's an accounting.
It's a discrepancy, absolutely. But
Because they seem halted, less musical than his other work. It's a subtle yet discernible discrepancy.
the hotel.
And maybe she left everything at the hotel. Because that's not the only discrepancy between what's listed in evidence and what's actually here.
AmWorks program, there will be a provision that all AmWorks jobs, there can be no discrepancy in pay between men and women.
Marital.
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 Marital. Marital.
Discover the marital status, immarital status, immarital status, and sexual predilections of the clients. To use the example of client number 12, he
made a very bad mistake. I betrayed my marital vows. Marital vows. Marital vows.
Hello, Will?
Felicia, hi.
I think that you should visit him in an intimate, marital trailer.
I'd be delighted. Do I detect a slight crack in the marital armor? A mere tiff of being nothing more. No, really, it seems like...
We are adults! This is my marriage!
If you think that's a marriage, then you're fucking nuts, okay? I'm sorry. Enjoy your marital bliss.
Okay, yeah, go, leave anyway. This is not working out.
That's what you do with your wife, Bruce. Of course it fucking is. See, these marriage counselling fucking spastics, they will tell you a load of shite. The root of any marital problem is always sexual. If you're no fucking...
A civil case can get ugly. They can pick apart your marital troubles with a fine-tooth comb.
What did he do? I called him to ask about his absences from work, and he told me that he's had 2 marital indiscretions in the past year.
Her words. She set me up. All that stuff about her marital troubles and Tobias being a never nude?
A never knew?
I prepared a list of wants.
Oh, you're not gonna believe this. My list of can'ts.
Marital love can be so romantic.
What's that supposed to mean?
What?
Marital love. You were looking right at me and you said marital love. Why would I?
George Michael was interested because...
They're gonna start asking questions.
Let him ask. I don't care anymore.
Well, I care. They don't need to be burdened with our marital problems, and while we're working things out, the least we can do is try to keep up appearances.
Mrs. Stark, what Andrew did was clearly wrong, but in his defense, his mother and I are going through severe marital problems.
Is that relevant?
Our marriage is disintegrating.
Ditch.
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 Ditch. He ditched his jacket, he ditched his jacket, he ditched his jacket and put on a hat.
Not very fun. Don't you want to ditch sometimes? Ditch sometimes? Ditch sometimes?
I don't know. I never found a good reason to, I guess.
Okay, you know what? Tonight, how about we just ditch our dates and ditch our dates and ditch our dates and have a girls' night? Done.
They forgot the TV. We can't find 5 boxes.
The mover drove his truck off in the ditch, broke the TV. We ordered a new one, be here this week. Boxes, I don't know.
All right, we did his ride here. From here on out, we go off-road.
House-to-house searches.
Yeah, but how do we know he didn't ditch his vehicle? Or maybe took off on foot?
Please now. And cut. Kitty, you know, why are you still with this guy? Why don't you ditch him and get with me? Okay, I'll make you a star. Take you right to the top, lady.
Holy fucker, kid!
You could give somebody a heart attack yelping out from a ditch like that.
Wait! How do you pee standing up like that? I mean, don't you have to squat?
Offended? Two of you ditched school to fuck in my guest room.
What made you ditch your home and risk your life to cross the beach from hell?
Working class, mothers, brunettes, beaten and left in a ditch. That was his message. He hated them.
Heighten.
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 He's definitely talking faster. That means his emotions are heightened. And maybe he's trying to control his anger.
Valerie Blunt was disgusted when you slammed me, but she wasn't afraid.
And she showed no heightened sensitivity to violence between a man and a woman. I think it's unlikely she was abused.
Unlike you, I live by a code.
The alarms have heightened security. There are guards at every door.
What do you say?
Some of my crew have been dealing with what might best be described as a heightened case of cabin fever.
The night.
Nighttime sharpens, heightens each sensation.
What?
Yep, that doesn't feel like turquoise.
You can feel color. You gotta be kidding me.
When you lose one sense, all your other senses become heightened. That's why you sound so loud and judgy to me.
My mistake, sir. I'll be right back.
Okay.
It's a metabolic dominance program. Heightens your reflexes, eliminates anxiety.
Gives you splitting headaches.
It uses the body like a big battery, heightening and redirecting the host's natural electrical impulses.
Yeah, it's like ancient PCP. It jacks up your adrenaline.
What? Trucks don't even give away to anyone. Will you give the lifeguard thing a rest, Seeley? All right, the State Department has advised that there's a heightened security concern for anyone traveling alone in India. Then come with me.
Thank you for the visual.
Asphyxiation heightens the high, but it's not without its risks. By the way,
Engrave.
Engrave. Engrave. Engrave. Engrave.
That's from Sheldon. He told me he had it engraved. Engraved.
What is that? It's engraved. It's engraved with the letter T.
T. Why not an R? Why T?
it's written in our genes. It's engraved in our souls.
Ruat Kailum.
The engraved gavel. He loved it. It was supposed to be back here.
Excellent. Fernanda Talon. Engraved initials on the back of her stolen bracelet to help make a positive match.
Jail!
Who's gonna be your best man? I got a ham engraved for him.
Any one of us sets foot on that sand, absent an engraved invitation from the governor, is likely to greet the sunrise swinging.
When she dies, they'll cut her open and find it engraved on her heart.
These kids are...
How do we know that it's engraved to my loving husband, Bert, portly fellow, Boston accent, weak bladder?
Fresh off the Heckler & Koch factory floor. And engraved. What do you say?
A black egg? Yes, with patriotic tipping. It's still a black egg. Engraved with POTUS and FLOTUS signatures. Ma'am.
Linen.
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 Oh, so is your linen shirt. Linen shirt. Linen shirt.
All right, you mind hanging out while I change?
Why, what are you wearing?
I fashioned historically accurate undergarments out of linen.
You went out and bought linen? Linen? Linen?
Don't be silly. I borrowed one of your pillowcases.
So the nick to the coracoid process revealed microscopic fibers of a dyed and coated linen. Linen.
Parts of the victim's clothing?
No, because the linen has been suffused with polyurethane.
I don't know what that means.
Well, it's...
Linen closet?
Down the hall, just right at the end there.
You know, we could do the top in a muslin or linen.
Yeah. Whatever you think. Hey, what's with her?
I should go talk to her. Oh, Rufus, the table and linen delivery people are going to be here any second. I can't believe I agreed to throw a party we aren't even able to attend.
I love the snow, opening my balcony doors and watching it fall like fresh white linen, and then running across the street to the park to make snow angels.
Where the hell am I?
He was actually somewhere between the linen closet and the guest room.
No, I'm really glad that we're doing this together.
She doesn't care for hotels, and who can blame her? Windows that don't open, multi-user linens, keys shaped like credit cards, as if one walks around with unassigned slots in one's wallet. All right, I believe I have time for...
Fuss. Fuss. Fuss.
Fuss. Fuss.
What's the fuss? What's the fuss? What's the fuss?
Slept through Elizabeth's briefing in the van, didn't you?
Like a baby.
On reflection, I'm truly sorry for the situation I put you in. I hadn't thought through your involvement.
All right. I'll eat some lunch. Just please don't make a fuss. Fuss. Fuss.
Fuss. Very plain, simple. No muss, no fuss. No muss, no fuss. No muss, no fuss.
Never felt the need to decorate. The office is for work.
I made you breakfast.
Oh, you shouldn't have.
Well, when there's a guest, I like to make a fuss.
And I like the fuss you make.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Freshie.
Where do you try the one at Picardi's and pour out the,
Añejo.
You'll see what the fuss is about.
Well, it's important to learn the facts on the ground.
You related? That's a good thing you did. Might never have ID'd him otherwise.
So why all the fuss over a dead pervert?
We think he may have killed a boy in Vegas over 20 years ago.
Oh, is that how we ended up in the...
Thank you for checking up on me.
Of course. I also wanted to make sure Tyler had left without a fuss.
Well, you just missed him. He went to dinner a few minutes ago.
Wait, Tyler's still staying here?
Yes, as far.
Sorry, Kay. Need to borrow Mom.
The sponsors?
No, Kirk's people kicking up a fuss about rescheduling the interview.
National Chess Championship. Carter Bowen is anchoring the debate team.
Sure, I didn't make that big of a fuss.
Oliver Carter just got accepted into Harvard and Princeton.
But that's because Carter...
They sent help. I won't be missing till bed check. There's no one waiting for me. How long till Mrs. Winter raises a fuss? I don't know, 2, 3 days.
The tiny girl in the flower dress. That's who everyone's making such a fuss about.
You kept the reservation.
Don't make a fuss. It's not a big deal. Remember when you took me out after months?
Am I the last to know?
Excuse me, Leonard. I am the one who's getting a divorce. Mitzi is the one who is dead. Why are you the one making a fuss?
You're right. I'm sorry. I'm way...
Bump.
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 Reminds me of the time you peed in my hair.
Oh, there was a bump. There was a bump. There was a bump. What do you want me to say about it?
There was no bump.
Okay, stop it! You two hate each other for no reason.
A mutation. Every time I fall down or bump into something, wherever I hurt myself turns to bone on the inside.
I mean, maybe we're drunk.
Maybe it was an accident.
It's a fucking lip lock. We didn't just bump into each other. Bump into each other. Bump into each other.
Don would have approved. There are people in life you avoid and others you go out of your way to bump into. Don had that bump into quality about him.
New cellmate, who'd you got? Some new fish. Ran a bump and swipe on an off-duty cop.
I was hungry, so I stopped by Rockets for some fries. I bumped into Whip at the parking lot, and we decided to go for a walk.
At night? Those woods are dangerous.
Really?
I routinely bump all appointments 30 minutes in anticipation of you being late. She bumped her flight. That's how she ended up with us.
Just because you've been bumped upstairs doesn't mean you can trust anyone.
I bumped up the specs. Quadrupled the range, tripled the resonance.
Hey, calm down, okay? I bumped him. Sorry, that was my bad.
Relay. 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 Really.
part. The signal is only being relayed there, relayed there, relayed there. It's actually originating here.
Would you relay to your mother when she gets back that I received the papers she sent and
our deep orbiting satellite, which will amplify and relay the signal to our targeted planet.
Huh? Dr. Nyring acts as liaison to our board of overseers. He relayed your request and it's been refused. Refused?
Your sonar head is upside down, therefore it will relay that information back to front.
Okay, alright, that explains that, so...
As far as you go. Tell me what this is about, and I will relay it in the morning.
He is a target. He will be dead by morning.
What's happened?
Man, the relay switch overheated. Shorted out the breakers on the last generator.
Kind of point. This time he'll meet the new relay commander.
My guest commander's name is Darren.
That's right, and...
When I discovered the answer, I debated whether I should relay it, but in the end, I feel you ought to know.
You gotta run a wire from the red side of the switch to the orange side of the relay socket.
Float.
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 Dude, do the rings from your food flow? Flow? Flow?
You floated here? You floated here? You floated here? In a boat?
That's what I was told.
I want to go to Candy Mountain and float on the tears of unicorns. That's real. I got them. I got the kill shot from here, but I don't know.
Well, I couldn't help but smile when I saw my daddy float through that door. And they had a Sunday with everyone coming over and bringing gifts and a little baby crib.
Bob and Lee, what are you sponsoring a float? Bree, you handled the introductions and I will check on dinner.
That's not your place.
I didn't think you'd mind. Besides, guys like Slaughter, they just float from precinct to precinct, you know?
It's a game. So how about if I just close my eyes, jump, and float gently to the ground?
Sorry, Mr. Wilson, but I won't let you float too far.
You out of there, okay? Cars could float for up to 2 minutes, so we got a little time.
Contrast.
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 This contrast between the hot regions and the cold regions generates powerful air currents.
The head CT. We thought it was a new symptom, but it wasn't. It was a reaction to the contrast. Contrast. Contrast.
Nice people. So, are you planning to get a look with contrast, or just the non-contrast study?
Which would you prefer?
Both.
Like the Kansas City Monarchs of the Negro Leagues, where the barnstorming style of play stood in contrast to the majors.
And that's ultimately beyond the ruling classes. The internet, in contrast, no longer requires there to be any notion of the group. Its concern...
And ochre hues in the upper left corner, which in turn contrasts with the presence of God, revealing to us that hope exists even in the most turbulent.
Is that?
It's a style of painting that was invented during the Renaissance, exemplified by strong contrast between light and dark.
These black rocks will get maximum contrast with the sand.
Reverse and resize. Tweak the contrast, find some edges.
More contrast. We need to catch the edge of his face.
Designate.
Designate. Designate.
Designate.
Designate. Clean. There are separate showers for both sexes. If you are found in an area not designated to your gender, I will personally neuter you. Am I clear?
The task force is designated Operation Kingbreaker.
Kingbreaker. Place Mount 51 in remote. Batteries released.
Mount 51 is designated.
Who was shooting at? I do not know.
Sorry, as their what?
Duff. DUFF. Designated ugly fat friend.
How about that again? I understand.
Please leave a message and a designated representative will get back to you.
Gentlemen, it's me.
It's here.
Negative 25.
And what's the reason for the designated truck?
25, stand down. This is straight from the chief. Got feds coming in from...
Red River 6, Red River 6. Scouted designated territory. No sign of German tanks.
Sample?
That's outside the designated crime scene.
The flight is a designated exchange location in Argentina, which, by the way, is gorgeous in the summer. But...
Save yourself. I'm not drunk. Bix made me the designated driver.
Funny now, are we?
Yes. Since their relationship became carnal, Penny has upgraded his designated term of endearment.
Kin.
Kin. Kin. Kin.
Kin.
To give you these, they're letters to the women's closest to kin around Hebron, Iowa, and on back east.
Father? 3 boys? It's your kin?
Persene's dying, Zachary. Just like Catkin. This world poisoned me and all my kin.
I'm headed there now. I have to notify the next of kin.
Okay, well, I guess there's no way around this.
Actually, ma'am, she's my kin.
So, you got a Chinese wife, bud?
No, I went to...
My mom's moved to Tucson with her boyfriend, so I got my cousin Jasmina to go to the hospital. She's next of kin. She can hand the baby over to Cesar.
Look, what's going on? Were there complications?
I'm sorry, I don't have you listed as the next of kin. You'll have to wait till the doctor can.
Yeah, no, never mind. It's just I was gonna...
You guys have any personnel files? We're gonna have to notify next of kin.
I think she has a sister in Virginia. I'll get you her file.
Me? I have to sign away. I haven't seen him in 20 years.
You're next to kin.
Oh, so are you. So is Jared.
No, your father made you sole...
Great. Okay, Cam got an idea. Tell you what, I'll come pick you up and we'll go talk to the next of kin. I love you.
Whatever you chose was wrong.
You think he put you in his will? No. Next of kin. Maybe you get the house.
The body's awaiting cremation while they notify the next of kin.
Hey, I'm your only next of kin. Don't you fucking forget it.
I'm going with you.
You can't work this. You're next of kin. I've got it.
Differentiate.
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 Differentiate. Differentiate.
And I think being able to differentiate between those two is the Turing test you want me to perform.
Silver glitter?
Nope. I mean, I'd say check the junk drawer, but I can't differentiate anymore. Differentiate anymore. Differentiate anymore.
Significant blow to the head. Like from the footboard? The head wound is differentiated, which would be...
What makes us human, what differentiates us from, let's say, insects, is that we have consciousness.
Why? We need to be able to differentiate between them, and us. Yeah, I think the pronouns are really confusing. Yes, I don't even know what a pronoun is. He was not choosy. He did not differentiate between what are commonly considered to be good smells from bad. At least...
You find anything incriminating?
I was able to differentiate between 2 distinct voices, 2 authors. I found various idiosyncratic words.
The cells are neatly differentiated. This isn't lymphoma.
Intriguing. Understand, Cylon blood is virtually impossible to differentiate from our own.
Expedition.
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 Expedition. Expedition.
What's that for?
Expedition security. Expedition security. Expedition security. My job's to make sure everybody's nice and safe.
Call it an expedition. An expedition. An expedition. This would be a voyage of discovery.
Excavation. And set out on an expedition for this island, which I believe to be here, sir. Just here.
He had, before this last expedition, 25 wounds upon him.
Now it's 27.
I know, Paddington. But I've been looking everywhere and I still can't find any mention of an English expedition to Peru.
But there really was an explorer, Mrs. Brown.
Well, we're also fighting the pressure of time. Our expedition ship just arrived, and we're supposed to leave in less than 3 weeks. The number, Patty.
Have you ever known a fishing expedition to be free, Will?
3 cancer. I know. Like I said, it's probably just a fishing expedition. He'll make...
Hello, Jack. I'm trying to book my next sailing expedition, but...
Exhibit at the Hellerman.
Yeah, see, Morgus expedition. This could be quite the haul. What we...
Radar? You're talking about $100,000 fishing expedition. And I still don't get what one case has to do with the other.
Yorkshire. I'm on a sort of reconnoitering expedition.
Lucky me.
Pamper.
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 Pamper. Pampered.
Your wedding, you deserve to be pampered, pampered, pampered. So, you're getting a mani-pedi.
Mellow and mellow. My wife and I have been burning it on both ends all week with the preschool applications, and I am ready to be pampered, pampered, pampered.
Yeah. Not human. He broke the record.
Here at Bally's, you'll be pampered, 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 like an enormous baby. There's a hairdryer and an ironing board in every room.
It's very fortunate. Yeah, he was a handsome guy with money. He was a smooth talker and he pampered her. What's she gonna say? No?
That's over. I'm going to take care of you and pamper you for the rest of your life. Do you like to travel?
This boy ain't grateful. He never will be. And you hope he won't be pampered.
Well, she ain't in that line, Mum. I've no fear.
She?
Miss Abisham.
Anyone?
Yeah, well, the fishing camps for a certain kind of man, pampered, hedonistic, self-centered, certainly screams out professional athlete.
Now, you're pampered. You're spoiled. You want what you want when you want it. You want excitement.
Those boys in hand. And once I've got them, the pampered little shits.
Bull.
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 Bull. Bull.
The angry bull, the angry bull, the angry bull pathfinders horn each other out of the way in the confusion.
A bull pulling a plough. A bull pulling a plough. A bull pulling a plough. Christian iconography, but it's also the pagan symbol for earth.
This young bull, this young bull, this young bull is going to be the next middleweight champion of the world.
This is why I come to find peace, dog. And you're coming in here like an emotional bull in a china shop, metaphorically knocking over vases, messing with...
Man, have you ever seen a pit bull in his first fight?
I had bulldogs growing up.
Man's face. City record shows that he had a pit bull named Badass.
Do this. Okay. Decaf Red Bull today?
Shut up, Jaden.
We sent it to all of them.
You're the brains of the operation, and your giant pit bull does all the killing for you. Is that it?
The fanny pack had dandruff-sized flakes of bull penis in it.
Gauge.
Gauge. Gauge.
Gauge. Gauge.
Angle. The buckshot embedded in the anterior surface indicates that the murder weapon was a 12-gauge shotgun. 12-gauge shotgun. 12-gauge shotgun.
Working? Like I said, I only just got the check.
At your chop shop, do you have a 70-gauge drill bit? 70-gauge drill bit? 70-gauge drill bit?
Yeah, I got every size.
His MRI.
That's how she was infected. The gauge is so small, she probably didn't even feel it.
Well, you culture that. We'll get Eris to the hospital.
Why?
About what you really want.
What I really want. Just a drop. A 30-gauge needle should slide right in undetected.
Okay. Look, I need to gauge where you people are, so there's going to be a pop quiz right now.
Since Little League, he looked up, and you can see it on the replay. He looks up because he knew the pitcher wasn't covering the bag, and he needed to gauge his position relative to the base.
Did you see Charlie?
After the show, he was cleaning his 12-gauge with Maker's Mark and muttering, "Kill the wabbit."
Any interest in a Tachigata-style stone lantern? There's a built-in rain gauge.
I got kid junk all over my lawn. I got
Back from the shop.
No, got mine. Jared Airmass said it was just a faulty gauge. Fix it up good as new.
Glad to hear it.
How big you reckon that wave was, sir?
It's a small world, kid. But how they gauge the size of waves, well, that differs from place to place, so.
Must have dozed off.
In the rain? Mr. 12 Gauge.
Deficit.
Deficit.
Deficit. Deficit. Deficit.
You've got a 20% advantage with men, which is great, but a 20% deficit with women. You've got to pick up 15% with females.
So do you.
I work for the U.S. government, girl. $17 trillion in deficit. In deficit. In deficit. You don't want to add to that, do you?
I need it.
It will be, but we are dealing with a very serious deficit at the moment, as you know. Besides,
thank you, everyone. As several of you already know, Wilkinson High School has been operating at a budget deficit for several years. Assistant Principal Elkins and I have already conferred.
Debates followed by voter reaction to the budget deficit piece, the SNL indictments, and what the pants?
Fucking Jimmy Carter.
Fucking Jimmy Carter.
Well, fucking Nixon, really. And the war and the deficit and all of that shit, but...
Fucking mother, he's so smart.
Raise.
This coming from the man whose policies landed us in $1 billion deficit.
No, this is coming from the mayor who got us out of it.
The federal deficit? Ooh, that sucker's big.
Recognize sarcasm?
Deficit in the right perihippocampal gyrus, which means CNS involvement before the fever.
U.S. debt. This country runs on deficit spending. If we can't borrow money...
We couldn't meet our obligations, the government will shut down.
Paralysis is a possibility, but we can't tell what kind of deficit she'll have until she wakes up.
Right, who can tell me if a large government budget deficit raises or lowers the national savings?